Good morning. It is July 17, 2014. It is a Thursday. Precisely this time last Thursday, I was doing my morning market video talking about how stock futures were falling. Guess what? Another Thursday, another pre-market sell-off. Are we going to get the spike that we saw at the open last Thursday, or are we just going to continue to plummet down to last Thursday's level? That remains to be seen. We had Janet Yellen trying to prick this stock market, or at least social media and biotech companies. It's interesting to see what part of the marketplace the Federal Reserve will see as a bubble or as a bargain. Stay tuned next time when Janet Yellen tells you to buy. I don't know. We'll see. I wish I knew the answer to that. But here we are. Futures are lower. We have Google reporting earnings after the bell. We had some tech names go absolutely ballistic yesterday. And let's go over some charts real quick and head into some earnings trades. Next week is going to really heat up. We've got Apple, Netflix, Chipotle Mexican Grill, McDonald's, VMW, just to name a few. How about CLF was up over 8%? You can see kind of hit resistance here at the 1650 level. But this is a stock that looks like it's working its way off the bottom. I can't sing, but if I could, look out. Google reports earnings. I did some charts up at the blog at optionmillionaires.com. You can see, let's pull back from a 5-year perspective. And you see it's broken out of this wedge here. To me, it looks like it's going to push up over the $600 level. The question to me is, how much is it going to push over that $600 level? Because if I'm a buyer of calls, I'd like to know exactly what ones to get. The 635 calls are interesting for me just because I can get them at a cheap price. Just get a couple of them and maybe we'll sell one or two as the premiums build up into the close today. I also maybe get a 535 put or two just in case we get the downside move. I think Google is going to make a sharp move. I think it's going to be a 5 to 7% move to the upside or downside, leaning more towards the upside. And we'll see that it's going to be always interesting to see. Google, last October, the stock rallied, and you can see this big candle here. It was a really great time for us at Option Millionaires in the chat room. JB had sent out an alert about the possible call. I think it was well, at that time, what was it, the 990? Before it did a reverse split. Anyway, needless to say, it was just a really tremendous gain for a lot of the call contracts. Back in April 2000 and 2007, we had Google moved 20%. A lot of the call contracts went 100%, 100 bags, meaning $500 into 50,000 or 1,000 into 100,000. Let's move on to some other names reporting earnings after the bell. Actually, before the bell, tomorrow we have GE, General Electric, which has really moved. It's got a nice channel going here, and we could possibly see it pop up to the upper side of the channel where it would meet resistance. The options are going to be modestly priced because General Electric is not that swift of a mover here. Although it was up 1.5% yesterday. We have earnings reports coming out next week from, I said Netflix, CMG, McDonald's, but yesterday we had SanDisk. SanDisk, I think 7 of the last 8 analysts were just obscenely bullish on the stock. $120, $125 price targets. This morning it is getting pummeled. It is down to about $98. It dropped $9 here from the close yesterday. And so today after the bell we have STX, which is Seagate Technology, and we're going to get a nice pullback here. It actually kind of fits well here with what the price was at the start of 2014, where it's come all the way back up to. So you would say, just from a chart perspective, this would be meeting resistance, and that a pullback here at about 57.50 and down to 55. So we'll see if that happens today, and if it does, which would be almost a 10% move to the downside, then we would look to be a buyer of calls heading into earnings tonight. And let's move on. And just to bring it up, I do have an options webinar this morning at 11 a.m. You can look at the blog at optionmillionaires.com. The link will be there. Beginner's option webinar if you don't understand stock options. Hopefully I can give you shed a little light on some options. TLT, if you look, has just stuck around this long-term trend line, but it is starting to break out here, and I think we're going to see the move up to 120 and 125. And again, the majority of the reason being, aside from 0% interest rate policy from the Federal Reserve, is the fact that interest rates abroad are lower than they are here, especially now we have that Portugal bank problem that came out last week. And so I could see some money continuing to head into the bond market here in the U.S. instead of in Europe. So TLT, like the calls here. Also, let's look at U.S. Steel, which broke above long-term trendline resistance. Came back to support recently, but looks poised to take out that $30 level. Whole Foods, I bought some calls this week. Yeah, looking really good as it broke through support. Again, I am not the perfect trader. I wish I was. I wish I could say I was 100% right. I wish I could say I was short the S&P 500 this morning when I woke up this morning. Yeah, without actually posting my trade prior to that. I always like to post my trades after the fact. That way, I'm never wrong. No, I really do wish I was a lot more right than I'm wrong. But nonetheless, we're getting a pullback here with WFM, Whole Foods. Also, TFM analyst came out this morning as well on WFM talking about possible continued downside. The one analyst came out for WFM talking about still a $48 price target. I like this stock when it does bottom, which could be here when we get these three candles across at about the $35 level. We closed at a multi-year low that we haven't seen since 2012. So something to keep an eye on. Same with the fresh market, which looks poised to take out this $30 level this morning. Twitter, I was a buyer of calls for the third time in the last 4 months. And each time I bought the calls, the stock has done the exact opposite. I got the calls about here. It looks like it's going to continue here pre-market. I think we're in the 36s. So I would look here for support off this trend line at about the 32.50 level. Let's look at Facebook. Facebook has been doing pretty well recently. It's broke up now. It's come up to the July highs. It's broken above former resistance here at the 680 level. So in spite of the weakness this morning, even if we come back, which we may, to the $67 level, I'd like to be a buyer of that dip. For Facebook, let's move on to a couple more stocks, and then we'll call it a morning. How about Apple, which looks poised to take out that $100 level? We had a big reversal yesterday, but still in lines with the support at the $95 level. So let's see if we can get above that today. And a lot of the times we've seen it over the last 5 years, really. Apple, in spite of weakness with the broader market, will outperform. So we'll see if we can get back over that $95 level and then make our way back up to new record levels for Apple. We have earnings next week. CMG is reporting earnings. You can see CMG had a rough go of it yesterday. We have Netflix, which an analyst came out and said, yeah, we have a buy rating on the stock, but then put the price target below the current price of the stock. So I don't know how you can buy something and expect the price, whatever. Just wrap your mind around that for a little bit. McDonald's, which broke below the $100 level, it's confined. They have earnings next week in this beautiful channel here, so we might have found support. And McDonald's is another one of those stocks where the whole market could be just taking it on the chin, and people are still buying Big Macs and Happy Meals, and the stock, I would almost guarantee, now there's nothing guaranteed in this market, but I would say very good odds of McDonald's having a nice reversal today, heading back to that $100 level. UPB OptionMillionaires.com. So in about 3 hours, I will be doing my live webinar. Join me here. It's Options for Dummies, and no better person to lead that than yours truly. All right, everyone, have a great trading session. Let's see if history is any determination of what the market's going to do. We're going to get that dip being bought this morning. That's what it did last Thursday, and we're already starting to get it. The Pavlov's dog here. Ding, ding, ding. Somebody must have just rang a bell somewhere, and we're getting the drool coming out as the bulls just start to horn their way to buying that dip. All right, UPB, I'll see you later. Goodbye.